how England is actually nice when it's not completely grey and raining outside. So yeah, it was good. It's been good to see It's been good to see daylight. To be honest, it's been pretty horrible for the last few weeks.
Now,
Oh,
now you're a streamer, man. What the hell is daylight?
Yeah, no, that's true. I am basically nocturnal.
Yeah. So, were you a little distraught today when you saw the Pokemon servers were going to be down for maintenance, or I mean, are you okay?
I was all right with that. To be honest, I hadn't played much over the last 2 days because did I did a fairly long stream to celebrate 12 hours, and then the day after, uh, or 2 days after on a Sunday, was my local league challenge.
Hmm.
So I was playing Pokemon for 5 hours that day as well. So I needed a small hiatus away from Pokemon.
Now
Uh,
you were supposed to do a 24-hour stream. Did you make it?
I did not. Um, so I was going to do it, but I'd already been awake for 12 hours by the time that I ended up starting it because I had family coming over at the weekend. And I got to about 12 hours in and I was like, I'm not going to be able to make this. This is not happening.
it
So,
is very difficult.
I,
yeah,
I
Horror Rocks, I'm from Sheffield, by the way. So,
and where is Sheffield?
kind of like the start of the north of England, basically.
Okay.
So slap. If you imagine like the UK, it's kind of slap bang in the middle.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. It was just hard to tell with your Australian accent. So I'm joking, of course. Um, all right, so let's get some general stuff. First of all, what got you? Well, let's go back even further. How did you get into gaming? What
How
got
did
you
I?
started?
I think so. The first games that I remember playing. So I'm one of three siblings. So multiplayer kind of was always kind of a big thing. And my older brother, we're 2 years each apart.
Hmm.
So we are always kind of into the same kind of things at the same time, which was nice. So I remember we had a PS1 for the longest time. Like everybody, all of my friends had a PS2 or an Xbox, and I was sitting there playing Crash Team Racing with with um with my brothers. So yeah, I'd say probably my older brother, and then like family friends who were slightly older. Because my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Crystal, because uh, my family friend had finished it and was just like, "Here, take this. You might like it." And then I was kind of hooked ever since.
Okay. Now, I when I grew up, I had a younger brother, and that meant that for him, like I'm sure if he was telling that story, he would have to talk about how growing up as the younger sibling, he always had to play as Luigi. Never got to play as Mario because I'll be damned if the younger brother is gonna be player one.
Indeed.
So you got started around Pokemon Crystal. Now, Christina, where did you start on Pokemon? Which one did you start on?
Um, the one that started it for me was probably Sapphire for the Game Boy Advance.
Okay. So
Nice.
those are not too far apart from each other, right?
No, not too far. About 4 or 5 years, I think.
Okay.
hmm I think I remember as a kid, even younger at that point. I think someone did have a Game Boy and showed me, hey, look, this Pokemon thing, like the original one, and they're showing
Mm.
it to me, and I'm just like, I want to go outside and go on my bike. Bye. So at the time, I actually preferred sunshine over being a hermit playing games. Hard to believe.
That was kind of the opposite of me. So like I guess it's like the equivalent of a Chuck E. Cheese, kind of in the but like a UK version that's called Wacky Warehouse. So it's got like it's got like a ball pit, etc., and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
Um, my mum and dad would always be pissed off because I would go and they had a Dreamcast, and none of my friends had a Dreamcast.
Dude, that was my
So when I
favorite
went,
system.
all I did was go, go and play Sonic Adventure.
Oh my goodness. Yo,
So I'd just be like grinding on the rails, like having a good time, and my mum and dad be like shaking their head, like, "Why will my son just not? Why will he not go play?"
yeah. Well, I actually loved the Dreamcast, man. I loved Skies of Arcadia and Grandia 2 on there, and Dreamcast was so ahead of its time. But growing up, what's the one game that like really sticks out for you that was like this this was the game that did it for me?
Oh, I think I'd have to probably split that into like two categories. So kind of before I was a teenager, and then as I was as I was a teenager. I
Okay.
think before I was a teenager, Crash Bandicoot 3. I loved that game, and I still do. Um, it was the last kind of one that was produced or made by Naughty Dog, and
Hmm.
I think after that it kind of went through a kind of a rough patch when it moved to PS2 and Xbox, where it kind of lost a bit of direction. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot 3 I played a lot as a kid. It was one of my favorite games to play, and it's just like it had so much variety, and like there was because it had like a full time trial system with like three different categories. I don't know if you played the remakes, but they've got that now in every single one. There was just so much to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably the game you're mentioning is in like the Insane trilogy, right? Like how they did the Zero one.
Yeah, it's the third one. So yeah, it's
Okay.
Warped, I think.
Kind of a
Um,
derp question, but I didn't really know much of Crash Bandicoot.
no, it's one of those like you're either because I never actually had a Nintendo like home console as a kid. I didn't have the 64. I didn't have a GameCube. So kind of all my Nintendo stuff came from like Game Boy and like the portable side of it, Game Boy DS, 3DS, and now the Switch. So all of my early kind of memories of gaming is PS1 mostly.
Sure.
Then as I was a teenager, probably Halo 3 and League of Legends, I think, were the two games that I probably put the most amount of time into, or
League of
I enjoyed the
Legends.
most. Yeah,
What is that?
it's a multiplayer online battle arena, or also known as a MOBA.
Mhm. I hear there's a
Where
lot of people that play that. Some of them that have been unfairly banned. Um,
I've heard that too.
I think it's legendary that they write songs about that. Um, so I mean, okay, so PlayStation 1 definitely still like no matter how long you had it, great console. I mean, let's face it, Final Fantasy 7. That that was
Not
PlayStation 1.
biased at all.
Not biased at all.
No,
Um
definitely not.
so how there are people trying to redeem the Paul Hebbs song in chat right now. This is like the third one I've seen. I've disabled the Paul Hebbs song in the chat during the podcast because we wouldn't get a word out edgewise. So it would
But
just be
gosh darn it, they're going to try anyway.
it would just be the Paul Hebbs song.
You need the copy pasta. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, there.
No Jeff's on it.
That
There we
guy,
go.
that guy is
Yeah.
so quick with the copy paste. It's not even funny. Like that's how he steals all the Pokemon codes. He's just too quick with the copy paste. He actually has his own thing here. Anybody, actually, I don't want to type it in. Jeff, you don't type it in. But anybody else that wants to type in the exclamation point and nub Jeff, you'll get a nice little surprise. So I'm just saying.
Nice.
So Paul, what made you want to what made you want to actually like start streaming? Like what was your thought process? You were like, I want to stream, what games should I pick? You know, how did you go about deciding what to do?
So I last summer I quit my job, and because I had a fair bit of money saved up, so I decided to go traveling. But in between like travels, I guess I didn't really have much to do, and wasn't at work. So I thought, and I'd done a little bit of streaming before, but just like to my friends, just when we were playing like Hearthstone Arena or something, just to help me pick cards or stuff like that. And I just saw other people doing it, and I thought, why not? Kind of, what's the worst that can happen? And I picked Pokemon Trading Card Game Online mostly because it's a game that I enjoy playing, obviously, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to stream it. But two, my computer is really bad, so
Okay.
I could not like I would not really be able to stream like anything
I
that's
know
too
your pain.
intensive. And the other thing, I guess the other thing is like, um, compared to streaming other games, like streaming a card game is quite nice because it makes it easy to interact with chat because you've got a lot of time between turns. It's not like reaction time dependent, if that makes sense. So you can actually just reach out, take your time, go get a
Sure,
drink, yeah, whatever. So, and I
sure.
feel like, especially with smaller streams, stream interactions like the most important thing that people are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if people don't feel a connection to the streamer, they're not going to stick around.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Like to me, streaming sounds like it would sound easy at first as an easy entry, but there's a lot that goes into it.
I think yeah, the main thing that's overlooked is that it's incredibly tiring. Like to
yeah,
stream for an hour and a half is like it's not obviously not physically tiring, but it's mentally taxing. Like
Hmm.
to be talking for that amount of time, like it's like having an hour and a half conversation.
yeah,
Like it's without having like any break, pretty much. So it is like I love doing it. Don't get me wrong, and that's
Hmm.
why I do. But even to stream for like 2 hours, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a long time to stream, but
Hmm.
it is taxing. I do like go and have a lie down and just sit in a dark room for a bit, unless you want free stuff. Says Atomic Prime.
Oh, and by the way, before Horror Rocks, it did not actually donate all your tokens to Nub Jeff. That's just a troll. So don't think that you lost your tokens. That was just a troll. That was just a troll. Um,
But it
so
was still a trollolol.
yeah, are you so are you what else are you streaming besides Pokemon at the moment?
So I've been streaming my music stuff lately. I also have been trying to speed run the first. Like I've been learning the speed run for Sonic Advance, which was one of the Sonic games that came out for the Game Boy,
Hmm.
which was one that I also played a lot when I was a kid, and just kind of not in a competitive aspect, more so just for fun and just kind of like not because I'm going to be like world's best or try to compete or anything, but just for myself to see how quickly I can get it done.
Hmm.
Just more so as a hobby. What else have I been streaming? And I think that's pretty much it. And because I mostly stream Pokemon.
Okay. Um, Now you talked about it being mostly because of your computer. Like later on, like are you planning on with your upgrades or new computers or if you get systems like the PS4 that you can share, like are you planning on actually doing different things, or are you just gonna stick with that with the
So
Pokemon and
yeah,
music?
I think I. Oh, that reminds me. Actually, the other thing that I was doing was a ROM hack for Pokemon Crystal,
Okay.
which is called Pokefuse, and essentially it merges kind of the sprites together of different Pokemon throughout the game, so you get some really like horrifying,
Oh God.
like what's the word that I'm looking for? Lovecraftian, like weird looking Pokemon, but it's good fun and it's just hilarious to just go. That should not look like this.
Yeah, dude, it was
Uh,
hilarious. There was back when I first started streaming, I actually streamed Pokemon Emerald, and while I was playing it, a viewer was like, "Hey, I did a ROM hack of my own version of this game. Will you play it on stream?" And I'm like, sure." Dude, like this guy, I don't know if he was trolling, but like the Pokemon that he had made looked like they were all done in like Microsoft Paint, and it was just like hard colored squiggles and stuff. It was so weird looking.
oh yeah, there's something about it though. There's something about. And to answer your original question, yes. I think I'd probably once I've kind of decided what parts I want, I would stream some different games. But I
Hmm.
still think primarily I would stream Pokemon. Like, um, just because it's a game that I probably play the most. I'd probably do like 1 day a week or something where I just there's a couple of other games that I really like to play. So there's a game called well, two games, Grow Up and Grow Home,
Hmm.
that were made by like a small team at Ubisoft. And basically, it's the most relaxing game known to man. You just play as like this derpy kind of 3D robot called Bud, and you just go and explore this planet and collect plants and stuff. It sounds really boring, but it's just one of those games like
Yeah,
to
no.
sit on and
Sometimes you
just
just gotta
chill.
chill.
Yeah, and it's just like the music's really nice and stuff, and it's like kind of got a very polygon style,
Hmm.
like art style, which is quite interesting. And all the physics are like kind of procedurally generated, so he just kind of stumbles about everywhere, kind of like a bit like Spinder, just like drunk walking everywhere.
Perfect for you.
Exactly.
I send you all my spenders. You sent me all your meowths. We're even.
Got to do it to him.
So now besides this, of course, you have a regular job. You're a teacher,
Hmm.
and so tell us about that and how that affects like your schedule, but what it's like to be a teacher and working with people and stuff.
So honestly, so before I was a teacher, I worked at Santander. I don't think you guys have it in the US, but the Europeans in chat will
Was
know
that
what
like
it
Taco
is.
Bell?
No, Santander is like a massive European bank.
I was just joking.
Mm.
So I I worked at I worked at the like the head office for the UK Santander, which was great, and the pay was good and it was nice, but it always felt like work.
Right.
It always felt like a slog. Whereas now that with this job that's slightly different, being a teacher is sociable, like you can actually have a bit of fun with it. Um, I love doing it honestly. Like, and I work with secondary, so
Now
11 to
for us,
18
yeah,
high schoolers.
for us Americans, that's high school.
Yeah, yeah. I'll translate to freedom talk. So yeah, that would be high school and maybe junior high. Is that the thing?
Hmm.
But,
Middle school,
Hmm.
high school, and middle school.
yeah. So yeah, I love it. So Atomic Prime. I'm just sorry, I've just seen in chat. Atomic Pro. Do you have to go to school to be a teacher? Yeah. So I have a degree in biochemistry.
Ooh.
Oh, so crazy mad scientist on our hands. All right.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Now, what is it that you actually teach, though?
so I teach science, unsurprisingly. Um,
Oh,
so and then I do a little bit of tutoring as well.
okay.
Which is also that's chemistry based
Hmm.
stuff. But I love doing it.
Now, do your students? How did you said one of them called you Mr. Hebbs, and it
Mhm.
sounded weird to you? Is that how did is that? See, I've never really paid attention to school in the UK. So, like here, that's how we would address a teacher. It would be Mr. or Mrs. Like, do they call you like professors, or are you like Professor Hebbs, or?
So it kind of varies from school to school and student to student. But the reason I found it weird is because my last name isn't actually Hebbs. It's a short Hebbs is shortened because my last name's like 13 letters long, so it's an absolute mammoth. So the kids either generally like sometimes they call you sir if you go to like the more posh schools, which is also really strange because obviously I don't have a knighthood. I'm not a knight of the realm. Like it's quite strange, but no. So it'd be like Mister. Not giving you my last name yet. So yeah, Mister Hebbs or Sir mostly, or because someone couldn't say my last name, they called me Mister Sir instead, which was quite
Aw.
cute.
Heberstein. he doesn't.
Heberstein.
He doesn't sound like a Steen to me. Um,
Not got that German twang.
it's Paul Hebbs the legend. Um,
Hebrides. I like Horror Rocks is the closest so far with Hebsworthshire. That is a very English sounding name. I'll give you that.
Headsworthshire Elderberry Wood.
Oh
Um,
god.
The third.
Mr. Plebs, Paul Plebs. So, and okay, so now you obviously do that, and then what? How did you fit in for music theory?
So, I played a few instruments like since I was like 6. So I used to play the violin because I was like, you know,
Ooh.
like typical middle class parents wanted their kid to play the violin or the piano, right? And then I got to 11 and decided, nah, I don't want this anymore. Because the other thing about playing a violin is that you have to have an expensive violin or it just sounds rubbish. like it just sounds like a cat screeching,
Mm.
and nah, I'm not about that.
Maintenance might
So
be a bit expensive too.
yeah, so my dad had always been into rock music, and I'd always wanted to play guitar. So it kind of my dad like he plays a little bit, not loads. He kind of just as like
Just
didn't have
strums along.
yeah, it didn't have lessons or anything, but can play to an okay standard.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and
me learning
sometimes you can
guitar,
play just from listening, like without actually doing sheet music. You just kind of play by ear, which is pretty cool.
so yeah, I can read sheet music, but very slowly. So I'd always use tablature for guitar.
Yeah, I
But I
can only
think
play tabs.
it gets to a point I think where after you've learnt songs, if you want to start creating your own stuff, you don't necessarily have to be able to read music, but you need to know the music theory that you can apply to tabs, if that makes sense. So learning your scales, blah de blah, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, so what are your music influences then? I'm sure there were plenty in the UK, notorious for great classic rock bands. One of my favorite bands of all time, which is Pink Floyd. You guys had a lot of music influence over there. Everything from what the Beatles to uh, whatchamacallit, the Who. Um, so like who was like your music influence over there?
Um, so my taste in kind of in terms of like classic rock stuff all comes from my dad. So during the 80s, he was kind of really into AC/DC, Led Zeppelin,
Hmm.
Van Halen, like
Ooh.
Judas Priest,
Oh yeah.
um, Rush. So like that's kind of more the like classic rock stuff all comes from my dad, and then kind of the more metal or kind of new metal stuff kind of comes from my older brother
Okay.
because I remember oh, God, when did Hybrid Theory come out by Linkin Park? I'm gonna
Oh,
quickly just
like
Google that.
somewhere around like 1999, 2000. Because that came out
Uh,
like on my very first trip to New York. That and Papa Roach's Last Resort were all around the same time.
so
Mm.
yeah, I would have been 5 or 6 when
Jesus Christ.
Hybrid Theory came out. Um, but I don't think I would have picked up on that for maybe another couple of years afterwards, the same as
Sure.
my older brother. But like, I've always kind of been into that kind of heavier sound since like a fairly young age, I guess, because my dad would just put AC/DC tapes on in the car all the time. So it's just like that's what we always listened to.
Yeah, I was in a band that we did a few covers of like Corn. I think we even had like a Limp Bizkit song in there somewhere. But
Just in case you
break
want to pack a
stuff.
chainsaw.
Yeah, sometimes just give you something to break. You know.
Yeah,
Although,
the lyrics to that song confuse me. Like,
mm,
I pack a chainsaw.
I skin your
I,
ass raw.
that's wrong. Like, what did Fred Durst like? Who let Fred Durst put that in? Like, who said? Did the other band members just going, "Yeah, that's perfect, mate. Well done. That's really embodying what the human spirit. It's too real.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta skin somebody when you're having a bad day, man. Um,
Just straight up raw."
and why not with a chainsaw? So, I mean, me personally, I saw the movie Robin Hood with Kevin Costner, and I still agree with the sheriff of Nottingham in that one, where he says, I cut his heart out with a dull spoon, and he says, why would you use a spoon and not a knife? And he says, 'cause it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. So, um,
ow.
yeah. So, all right, so cool. And then I mean, obviously, you and I we met on Twitch, and
Hmm.
kind of I'd say we hit it off, right? We're buddies now, and
Yeah.
so
Gravehonor, you do know, you have been told, haven't you, that I'm coming to move in,
oh
right?
god,
It's I know it's a little bit awkward to announce it now, but
no
we're
homo.
we're kind of a thing. So
Nani?
Nani? Nani? Yeah, I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing about it. So, but yeah. So, uh, Paul kept coming in the chat, and honestly, like I didn't realize like how much like people actually pay attention to what I say. So there was like one day where I was talking about something, and then I just randomly said in chat, "I'll give away a free something to whoever guesses my age." And Paul's like, "Get that to 9 because I heard you say it before." Like, oh wait, he must
Oh
have been
yeah,
here for that. And then
I have a horrible knack for remembering information, which will probably not be very useful for me in the future. So
I
when I
mean,
can remember the things, then
yeah. And
at least it
so
comes into use.
right, and
You
so
really remember the things.
I randomly pop
Mhm.
onto your chat one day, and of course you're playing guitar, and you see me in chat, and you're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And so I'm like requesting all these off the wall songs. You're trying to play metal, and I'm like, "Yo, play some Pink Floyd." Like you're like, "All right, let me key down for this." And um, so uh, apparently, Paul remembered a story that I told about. My trouble with Riot Games and why my name is actually Titan's Revenge when it used to be Titan Jaeger and yada yada yada. And the next thing I know, a song starts playing and Paul's just freestyling on stream and he makes up this song. Um, so how much do you regret that?
Not all.
Not at
I
all.
love it. I think I always think like so. I guess it's because my name on Twitch is really boring. So whenever, because it's just literally my name. So whenever someone picks a name that isn't their name, I always kind of want to ask why, or if there's, because usually there's kind of some kind of story behind it. So one of the other guys who, sorry, this is just off on a tangent. So one of the guys who used to stream PCCGO doesn't stream it anymore. His name was Juvain, and so like vein is in like you know what carries blood throughout your body.
Right. Sure.
And so I asked him what's the story behind your name, and basically he said when he was a teenager he loved Mountain Dew that much that he wanted it pumping around his veins. And also one of his favorite bands was what they called something vein. Give me 1 second. Is it like Dusk Vein or something like that? Mudvayne.
Mudvayne. Oh God.
Yeah, Mudvayne. So Mudvayne were one of his favorite bands growing up as well. So he kind of liked the sound of that as well. It's just like little stories like that just give you like insight into kind of, because a lot of people pick a username when they're like 13, 14,
Sure.
and then just keep it for the rest of the time. And it's like those kind of insight into what they were like as like a teenager or as like a kid. I always find quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is an interesting point about it. I never really thought about it that way.
Well, it's pretty. You want to hear an interesting story? You can ask Gravehonor how she got her name.
It's not.
Go ahead.
I was looking up online handle generators, and I mixed the first part and the second part together because I'm like, hey, that sounds cool. I'm gonna be Gravehonor from now on.
See, there's a lot of life.
Damn dramatic.
Yeah, there's
I'm gonna make a book out of that.
The only thing I can say is that show. I could be mean and say that shows a lack of creativity, or I could be be nice and say it is a pretty badass name. To be fair,
it is.
I think it sounds pretty cool, and it's better than what I was used to doing before this one.
All right.
I'm not going to say.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute myself for 50 seconds, and we're gonna play the Paul Hebbs Titan Revenge song for everybody since they want to keep spamming it. We're gonna play it real quick, and then we'll talk about the follow up. So, one minute here.
this is a story about a Titan and his quest for his revenge. There once was a man named Titan's Revenge. He was salty on League, he got unfairly banned. So he made an account to piss everybody off. But then Riot gave him his account back. He never ever looked back. He wants to play Teemo forever.
All right, there you go. So, that that new hit single is, out there and, on the market, what's your follow up project?
My follow up to the Titans Revenge song
Yeah,
is just like a whole album based on the trial and tribulations of Titans Revenge.
sure.
10 hour version. But
I
however, just tune into the stream. It's
Yeah, I was
basically
gonna
like a
say.
10 hour version.
I was gonna say. I felt like we got the 10-hour version in 3 hours yesterday. I felt like 10 hours of it in 3 hours. Um. So. No, but there's a new song coming.
Yes, there's well, I would say one of them's more of a cover. The one that I've sent is more of a karaoke.
Okay.
The one that I do have another Paul Hebbs original. That guaranteed stamp of quality.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
En route. Should we do that now, or should we save that till the end? Should we tease them a little bit more?
You know what? Not everybody is here, so we could do it now, and then that way these people that were nice enough to come today can catch a preview.
They get the sneak preview. They get the equivalent of like a pre-release. 1 second.
Okay.
I just need to save one document. I told you my tinfoil hat was coming out for the Pokemon stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just give me a sec. I need to load up the lyrics. Yeah, we've got lyrics now, boys.
He's ready to copy and paste.
Get that copy pasta ready. I also need to plug in my guitar and
Nice.
make sure it's actually in tune. I mean, that is like musician 101.
Yeah. See, there's a whole new thing for your stream, man. You can have people donate or sub
Oh
for
my god.
personalized songs.
Cool.
I'm not sure. I think I would have to pay them essentially to have a song written about them.
I don't know, man.
It's a burden. It's not a.
I think it's been proven that people enjoy it. So,
It's a blessing in disguise.
hey, there's Shadow Lady.
Yo, what up, Shadow Lady?
Hi.
We just talked about her earlier.
That sounds quite ominous now, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
We were talking about you earlier. Do we have like a little cult meeting and everything? Oh,
You're gonna play a live version for us.
oh, get yourself ready.
Oh, we're ready. Here you go, guys. Live version.
Sorry, just making sure we're in tune. Is it loud enough?
It should be.
Okay, right. We're in tune. Let me get myself ready.
Wow, you just played the Stray Cat strut. I was about to sing it too.
Dude.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much based on that kind of chord sequence. It's also what is it? It's using House of Wolves by My Chemical Romance also uses that chord structure. It's kind of like, I know we're kind of delaying the start of it here, but it's also like, the more you know about music, it kind of does ruin it a little bit as well.
Sure.
I guess it's kind of also the same, like, obviously you're a film director, so you kind of see the behind the scenes of everything as well.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, as much as obviously it's cool understanding and you see what people do and how clever like every single choice is.
It's 3 power chords, baby. Ask Green Day, they'll tell you.
Yeah. But yeah, and obviously you just hear the same song, like some structures over and over again. You go, actually, but then I know this is kind of, do you know the song "Somebody I Used to Know" by Gautier?
Yeah.
So that song isn't very complicated, but it's a brilliant song. And when it came out, it was stuck in my head forever, even though it's basically just "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" in D minor. But it's like, it's such, like, the lyrics to that song are so good that it's just like, so
nice.
Right, okay. Let's get started then.
Okay, let's do it.
Let me, you know, like before, if this was just me on stream, I would not feel any pressure. But now I'm feeling like I'm getting like stage fright.
All right,
Aw.
everybody, get out your Titans highs. Get out your Titans highs for Paul. There you go.
Titans Revenge was once an avid player of PTCG. Oh, he would play his Houndoom Mill deck on ladder not too long ago. But alas, his favourite deck went into rotation, much to his dismay and his frustration. Oh, are we going metal mode? I think we are. Should we do it?
Go for it.
Should we have like a little metal chorus? Oh, this is gonna be loud. Apologies. So now he gives his cards away. Only one or two.
Oh, I think it's cutting out on him.
Aw.
Let me try and turn it down. Is that
Yeah, I think it got too loud and like cut your mic.
okay? Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. It just cut you out.
It was just the music part, trying to get both
Okay.
sources.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work.
No,
Darn
it's
it.
not. Oh, that sucks. I will record a full version.
Okay,
Well, that's still a tease.
that's all we were doing was showing a preview.
Wait, I've got it. I'll put it back to clean. We'll put it back to clean.
It's too
and
powerful for the stream, bro.
So now he gives his cards away to people in Twitch chat with only one or two small caveats, and that is that you cannot lurk and basically don't be a jerk. There you go.
Paul Plebs, ladies and gentlemen.
Paul Plebs. Lord of the Plebs.
Yeah,
That's gonna be your stage name now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I am the pleb king. I think
he's the pleb mod.
I don't know if anybody else. It's not a democracy, basically, but I elected myself as pleb king. So
That's good stuff. I can't wait to hear the full version.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering, should I be playing the pleb anthem, or are we?
you can play the pleb. Should we end on the pleb anthem? Just let me take my guitar off because I've got it on a strap, and then it's mixing up with all my headphones, and it's horrible.
Okay.
There we go.
We'll end on the pleb anthem, so we'll give it about 10 more minutes. So
Yeah, sure.
so what's coming up for you? What do you got coming on? What are you planning on doing over the next few weeks, stream wise, life wise?
What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I will be probably streaming more regularly. Obviously, I haven't streamed the last couple of days. So I'll be doing more and more Pokemon stuff. Kind of. I've got some packs to open on stream. I'll probably be doing a couple more giveaways. Giveaway streamer, by the way. Haha. And yeah, I don't know what else I'll do. I'll probably more music stuff because I've been really enjoying doing it, and obviously when you move away from like what you do, that's kind of like the core part of the stream. You obviously not everybody's going to tune in, but it's like
Sure.
It's nice to get some different people in chat as well. People who just come to listen to music on Twitch or interact with people who play music and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm probably going to be doing a video when the Pokemon Direct comes out tomorrow. I'll probably do a stream talking about that for a while. To kind of give my opinion
Nice.
if that's of any value to anyone, but that's what I'll be doing anyway.
I think they said it's only gonna be 7 minutes, but I wonder how much information they could pack in 7 minutes.
I don't know. If it's not about Animal Crossing, though,
It's only gonna be Pokemon Direct.
Yeah, I know. I saw it said it started at 6 a.m. That's super early.
I think it's supposed to be 9 a.m. for us.
Okay.
I presume that's because they're having it like more suited to the Japanese time. Like,
Yeah.
would that be like evening for Japan, right?
hmm Hopefully,
So,
it just
yeah,
won't be
that makes
something
sense.
like, it won't be something like, hey guys, we're We're making Pokemon Go on another device.
I would be very surprised if they didn't say anything about the new gen.
Yeah, I think that like it's pretty much confirmed because like we're going to be seeing new gen stuff. So I don't know if you've seen the poster for it or anything, but it's three Pokeballs, which obviously indicates that they're going to be kind of talking about the starters at least. I think we'll. I don't know whether we'll see that much gameplay of it, but I expect that we will see the starters, get the titles, etc. I don't think we'll get much more than that. I also kind of anticipate that, yeah, as Titan, as you've hinted at, we will see some stuff. I think we'll probably see an update to Pokemon Quest,
Mm-hmm.
and I also think that we might see, the Pokebank, where you can like send Pokemon across from game to game.
Yeah, you can save them from other games and stuff.
Yeah, I think we will be seeing a mobile app for that sometime very, very soon. I just think it's kind of a natural progression for what Nintendo have been doing with everything else in terms of like Splatoon. I just think it makes sense.
Now, I guess I don't know, Chris Grave. Did you have any other? I about called you by your regular name. Did you have any other questions for Paul? And also, we'll take some questions from the chat aimed at Paul as well.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it or if it was released there, but because it's been a while. But do you think Rocksmith is actually a decent option to try and learn?
Rocksmith.
Yeah.
When I look at it, I get confused because I don't know whether that's because I already kind of know how to play. I have tried it once or twice. I think if you picked it up having never played guitar before, I think it's a good way to learn.
Okay.
But I still think there's something about having someone physically playing it in front of you, whether that be through a YouTube video or in real life teaching, that just makes it like you can see what you're meant to be doing more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does.
Now, I am really, like, really good at Guitar Hero on easy. So, could I just pick up a guitar and just play that
and
same
hit
song?
me with your best shot, like I'm
Yeah.
a pro.
Oh, that's Guitar Hero 3 is the best Guitar Hero. Nobody at me in chat because because honestly, if you think otherwise, your opinion is just straight up wrong.
Oh.
He says Guitar Hero 3, guys. You hear that?
Guitar Hero 3. No, Jeff, you had me, but you didn't give me an alternative opinion, so I'm taking that as out of consensus.
I mean, I'm actually like pretty decent at Guitar Hero, but I wouldn't be able to pick up I wouldn't be able to just pick up a guitar and play. Like, I can play tabs, you know what I'm saying? But like I can't, like, tabs are easy, but I can't. I'm not coordinated enough to be able to actually like play chords. You know, my hands just don't like it.
See, this is a thing that I always find very strange. So whenever people are like taught how to play the guitar, right? They always start them out with acoustic guitar. Generally, acoustic's so much harder to make a good sound than electric.
Well,
like it's really discouraging to people because they can't make a good sound. It just sounds naff. Whereas electric, you can just play learn the shape of power chords, and like you can play some of your favorite songs, and that encourages you to like learn more.
Well, not just that, but I found it was easier playing on the electric guitar just because the neck wasn't so thick.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is especially like it's the only thing that you can do to make it slightly easier is like if you imagine holding down a chord, if you bring your thumb kind of right round the back of the neck. That's the only thing that like makes it a bit easier. But yeah, electric's definitely 100 times easier to start learning. 100%.
All right. Anybody else got questions for Paul Hebbs? Paul Hebbs, ladies and gentlemen. Ow. Thanks for the cheer. That was super loud.
nobody's got a question or just thinking of one yet, I can go into my crackpot theory for what starters we're going to see tomorrow.
Okay, let's do
Okay.
that.
Okay, so I will only be discussing the fire starter for the purpose of this TED talk, okay? So, little known fact, the fire starters, as a general rule of thumb, follow the Chinese zodiac symbols. Hear me out. Hear me out. So we've had the rat, which is Cyndaquil, pig, which is
I thought that's more of a
Tepig.
hedgehog.
We'll say rat for now.
Okay.
Hey, look, it doesn't
I'm sorry.
it doesn't
Don't
work if
put-
it's not a rat, okay? So just
Don't poke holes in my theory, Gravehonor. This is good. This is good stuff. The pig is Tepig.
Poke, poke, poke.
The tiger is Litten. The dog is Fennekin. The rooster is Torchic. The monkey is Chimchar. The dragon is Charmander. So, tomorrow, the fire Pokemon will be a rabbit, a snake, a sheep, a horse, or an ox. And if it is, I expect Gravehonor, can you message me a personal letter of apology for ever doubting me? I'll DM you my address.
yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the new fire Pokemon is gonna be a fish.
It's gonna be a fish,
Yep,
bruh. Can you imagine?
it's gonna be a fire fish.
It's gonna be a flying firefish that's blue, and is basically Gyarados, but is not called Gyarados.
Sure,
That sounds like it would
It's
be
called-
a ghost fish bone with blue flames around it instead.
it's called Gyarados.
Yes, but if I also Gravehonor, you can pay for postage. I think I'm not paying for postage on my own apology letter, if that's okay.
Well, I guess that would be fair.
Okay, so yeah, don't forget, guys. Rabbit, snake, sheep, horse, or ox. You can all. I want to see just PogChamps in chat tomorrow, in either mine or Titan stream if my theory is confirmed. So, it's not my theory. That's unfair. It's just it's a bit of fun.
If its theory is confirmed, okay, we'll
Ooh.
see.
One of my friends from real life who's in chat, help me on Arena. What up, dude? Has asked, what cool mechanic do you want to see in new generation of Pokemon? Ooh. I would like to see. You know what? I think there's space in Pokemon for it to have like an Animal Crossing aspect of it. Not in terms of like gameplay, but in terms of like, you know, in how like Ruby and Sapphire they had the houses and stuff, like the little huts that
The
you could
secret
go in.
bases?
Yeah, I think they could do a lot more with that, given the online capabilities of the Switch
I
now.
could see them working more on that since in the remakes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they did add a bit more to the secret bases.
And yeah, I expect it to have like a lot of online functionality in terms of like social stuff, because I feel like that would, even though I know it's meant to be like a traditional Pokemon RPG game, but I don't see a reason why they can't introduce those kind of aspects.
Okay.
I guess with Pokemon, they're a bit afraid of too much online because people have been like on MMO forever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm cutting out.
You cut out for a second, but it's weird.
The only other thing, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
The only other thing that I would say is obviously they've been on Twitter. They've been putting out each region like a day before, saying welcome to so and so, or welcome to Johto, Kanto, yada yada, Unola, or so. I've seen some people, although I don't think this is personally going to be true, that it'll have every single region, which would make it a huge game. It would make it massive, but it would also, I don't think anyone would really complain if it had all of the old regions and a new region. The other thing that I would actually like to see, going back to the previous question, is I'd like to see a hard mode. I would actually, because I feel like with the new games, they've been progressively getting easier and easier.
Don't get Gravehonor started on that.
What?
He said the new games need a hard mode. Like
Well,
Pokemon Sun or Moon need a hard mode.
I mean, that's fine as long as there's the option to please the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what I'm saying. I think if you can have a normal mode and a hard mode, the new Gen 8 game.
Yeah,
I
because
also
people have been complaining that the newer gens have been too easy at the get-go, which I personally don't mind. But if they add a hard mode just to choose for people, then it'll still
Yeah.
make people happy.
Maybe they'll just add the in-game Nuzlocke.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool as well.
It would be
I just-
interesting if they could like put the rules in there to keep track of it for you, like this one ROM hack does.
Yeah, and of course a battle royale mode.
So, Atomic Prime. Oh my God! No more battle royale stuff. Come on, battle royale.
I was just gonna sneak that in there, just in a battle royale mode. Yeah, of course.
Battle royale Tetris is annoying me.
MOBA.
So, Atomic Prime wanted to know: do you think they're gonna stay with the "Let's Go" type of catching, or are they gonna go back to their traditional?
I'm going to say no. I think you may still have the option to have like the flick to like, because obviously the Switch is touchscreen, to flick the ball, but I don't think it'll stay with the same kind of catching as in the circle closing in and then flicking it. I think it'll just be that'll be an option for like you'll be able to just catch it normally using a button, or if you want you can use the flick thing.
Yeah.
as
So
well.
now
Yeah, they
that we
might put the option in like with Let's Go to use motion controls, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, so now that we just had Paul Hebbs talking about flicking balls, I feel like we need a entirely new rating for this show. Paul, did you do you want me to play the one that you sent over, or did you resave a new file?
I haven't resaved it. I can send you a new one over like after the stream though if you
Okay,
want.
that's fine. So we'll preview them with the current version.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll hit them off with
I've got one last point on Pokemon before
yeah,
we
go
finish.
for it.
So, as I was saying, I think that the new Gen 8 should have a hard mode. I think that's also linked into the fact that Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu is also massively catered to like the more casual kind of cutesy side of Pokemon, I guess.
Mhm.
So I think that it no longer has to be kind of a jack of all trades with the new game. It can afford to be a little bit more RPG heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to see multiple starters until you've actually finished the game.
Okay.
That's my only other thing.
That's fair. So that about does it for time for us. We got about 2 minutes left, and so we're gonna leave you guys with a song that Paul Hebbs wrote just for the plebs. Literally made a pleb anthem, and this is not a final mix version, but we're just gonna let you guys hear this ahead of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you guys for coming. We're gonna play this song, and we appreciate you being here. And
Yeah.
Grave, Paul.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
It was
loved
great to have you here, and thank you everyone for listening.
Yep, it was great. So here you go, guys. The Pleb Anthem by Paul Hebbs.
For all my plebs in chat, this one's for you. If tomorrow all my cards were gone that I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my theme decks that are shite, I'd thank my lucky stars to be in this chat today, 'cause the stream still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be a plebeian, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the plebs who died, who subbed using Twitch Prime for free, and I'll gladly spam chat with all of you. You're always in my dreams,
'cause there ain't no doubt I love